Oh, hello and welcome to Seismic Cinema. I got a fright. See, when it came live, I was like, is this turned into a live stream? But it hasn't.
Great start, bud. Great start.
We'll start again.
Yeah. Nah, just keep going. Roll it.
Okay,
Adapt and overcome.
Okay, that's good. Okay, so welcome to a Seismic Cinema review or Q&A podcast, as we'll explain later. So put your feet up on Bullseye's saddle. That is the wrong film. It's not actually Toy Story. Grab the Next Generation Texta in the form of Socks, the robot cat, and get prepared to go to infinity and beyond with us for the next 30 to 40 minutes. That was
Nice.
that was a replica 1990s Buzz Lightyear action figure for anyone who can't see it.
I know. I think I've still actually got him and Woody in my mum and dad's house somewhere.
Yeah, I feel like he should be present for the podcast, so I'll just hold him here.
Did you write Andy's name in the script?
I did actually at one point. It's not there anymore. But then I was like, why did I not write my own name? Because that would have made a lot more sense. But yeah, I used to say it. It doesn't anymore. It's quite good. The laser still works. The commands still work. Still pretty good. Lost the front of his helmet, but apart from that,
oh, it's no longer valuable.
No, but it's very memorable. I'll tell you at the end the story about how I got this.
Did you buy it at Disney store by any chance?
No, I'll just tell you quickly. So it was the big thing that I wanted for Christmas, whatever year it was, 94, 95, whatever it might be. And I didn't get it, and I was just quite polite about it. I didn't make a big deal about it. And then later on in the day, my mum was like, "Oh, there's been a present left at the back door," and that's obviously when you're believing in Santa Claus, which everyone still should. And Buzz Lightyear was at the back door.
Yeah. Did they come in a box, or did they come in the box like in the movie, like a ship?
That'd be cool. I don't think it did, but you never know.
No, I couldn't remember if it was or not. I remember thinking maybe that would be cool, but I think it was.
That would be very cool. So
anyway,
yeah,
we strayed.
Yes, this podcast is a wee bit different. It's similar to a previous Q&A discussion about a movie we've done, which was about The Secrets of Dumbledore, and totally off topic, but I really hope they do the last two films in that franchise, because I've quite enjoyed Secrets of Dumbledore, which I still don't think Paul's seen, and Paul also has not seen Lightyear, which is the film that we're going to discuss today.
Yep, I dropped the ball on this one. I couldn't make it because I was helping build a fence. Still not finished it. Almost finished it. It's not even the big fence, so I don't know what's taking so long, but we'll get there. We'll get there. So after the fence is done, I'll see all the new releases.
Your excuses are getting better by the month.
Yeah, instead of I just couldn't be bothered.
Right, so what do you want to know?
Well, I'll actually have nothing, like no knowledge of it. I just know that Chris Evans is doing the voice, and that's the only difference. So explain it to me like I'm a 5-year-old.
Well, that's just how I normally explain things to you.
You cheeky monkey.
And Enter the Dog.
Yes, the yawning dog.
Right, so the film basically opens up with a wee spiel, and it says in whatever year, 95, whatever it was, Andy saw a movie about a space ranger. This is that movie. So it is in universe in the sense of this is the movie where the Buzz Lightyear action figure came from.
Ah, I see. I was wondering how they were going to play it because I'd literally had no idea. So
I didn't know either. I saw that tagline, but I didn't actually know that's what the premise was. But I think it's quite clever.
Looks like pretty good effects for 95.
Yeah, that was one criticism that's been leveled at it, but I did like the concept of
that's fair.
It was the movie that Andy saw.
Yeah, oh, that's fair enough. Yeah, I quite like that idea. Interesting. So this is the movie that Andy saw.
Yeah.
Cool.
Which launched Buzz Lightyear into the popularity in which he is in the film.
Beautiful. Right, so What happens in the movie then?
What actually, just before I get into that, what actually makes it helps make sense of the fact that Chris Evans is doing the voice,
Right, okay.
because the people who do the voices for the toys probably aren't the actors that played the character in the movie. So
Oh, okay.
the fact that Chris Evans is doing the voice, he's basically an actor playing Buzz Lightyear.
So what we're saying is Chris Evans is a bigger star than Tim Allen, and Tim Allen's just a voice actor for toys.
Well, he is. Yeah, he is Captain America after all.
Was Captain America.
That's true. We'll just forget
Right.
about that show, though, because it was rubbish.
Quick question. Captain America, Captain Carter, or Falcon?
Captain America.
The OG. Okay, just double checking.
So in terms of the movie itself, so Buzz naturally is a space ranger, and the movie opens up. He's on a mission with one of his colleagues, which I can't remember her name, which isn't a good start. But there's a newbie with them, so there's a new cadet essentially who's on the mission with them to this planet. So they went to this planet. What's that?
Rookie.
Yeah, they refer to him as a rookie quite often.
Right.
So they went on a mission to this planet, and then there's like kind of alien species. There's this running gag where characters keep getting their like tentacles around their leg and like pulled away. It becomes a bit of a running gag. But essentially the space rangers get trapped on this planet. And I did really like the film overall, but the main plot was basically, if we use the Star Wars comparison, the hyperdrive wasn't working properly. So a big part of the movie is Buzz and the other space rangers trying to fix the the hyperspace capabilities in order to get back to their home planet.
So how do they go about fixing it? Is it like they have to get parts on this planet?
So they eventually set up like they start to inhabit the planet. Like they throw down some roots, like they build like headquarters and training facilities, that kind of thing. So they make a physical presence on the planet, and he just essentially keeps trying the same maneuver. So he puts his spaceship to whatever speed, trajectory, and he keeps trying to do the same thing again and again, but he keeps failing, and he gets more frustrated as time goes on.
Okay. So how many of them are on the planet? Did you say 3?
Well, there was 3 in the original mission, but there's like a wider, like there's more people there over. I think there was maybe more people there originally, but they were the ones on the main mission.
Right. Okay.
So the people who were left set up headquarters essentially on the planet.
Yeah. Okay. Nice. And is there a big bad in the movie? Like, is there a main villain or anything? Or
I'll get to that. There's one important bit to mention before that comes into relevance.
okay.
So, you know, I said he keeps trying the same maneuver over and over again to fix the spaceship.
Yeah.
Well, what happens, what he doesn't realize is each time he does that, it puts him forward in time a bit.
Okay.
So it's some scientific mumbo jumbo, one of those things. But each time, and he doesn't really realize it at first, but when he comes back, people have started to age a bit. So I think at first he loses it's like 3 years or something.
He's gone 3 years. He doesn't notice.
Yeah, so he comes back, and there's like small changes, like the female character that he's really friendly with. She is single at the start of the film, and then she meets her partner, a fellow space ranger, and then there's a kind of montage where he keeps trying the maneuver because even though he knows he's losing time, he really wants to get them off the planet so everyone can go back to their lives.
Mm-hmm.
There's quite a clever wee montage where it fast forward through the lives. So he comes back, and the cadet, I really wish I could remember her name, was now married to her partner, and then they have a child, and then he comes back again. The child's like a teenager, and then he comes back, and it's a graduation. So there's a kind of montage.
So there's nobody noticed that he's away.
No, they know he's away.
Right. Okay. So like when he's going away and doing this maneuver,
They just got on with their lives.
yeah. All right. Okay. They just
But
assume he's and they
Buzz
don't
is
mention.
very committed to the mission, so he wants to. Everyone see by this point, because like the characters got married and had a kid and different things like that. They're actually quite enjoying their life on the planet.
Yeah.
Whereas Buzz is just really. Do you know how the Buzz we meet in Toy Story? It's just all about being a space ranger. Is really one track. That's all that matters to
Yeah.
him.
Very mission orientated.
It's similar in this film. All he wants to do is get off the planet.
Yeah.
And he comes back at one point, and his space ranger pit fellow, which again I really wish I remember the name, has started to get grey hairs. And there's a
Right.
really emotional scene where he comes back, and they aren't there anymore. His colleague's office has been cleared out, and she's passed away. But
Oh.
he sees a recording.
Mm-hmm.
He sees a recording of her essentially saying goodbye to Buzz, but her child is now like in her 20s. So you meet up with her later on during another mission when she's becoming a space ranger herself. So just to dial back, there is something important I've not mentioned yet. When Buzz first came back from his mission and the times passed, they gave him a gift or companion to help ease him back in, because they thought it might be quite a big thing for him to realize he's missed these years.
Yeah.
And that's where socks comes into play.
Is this from your intro?
Not the socks that you would put on your feet. He gets a. But this sounds really ridiculous, and it could have failed really badly. But socks is the best part of the movie by far. It's a cat, which would have been weird, but it's a robot cat.
Okay.
And it is really hard to explain in a vacuum, but the cat is just, see the physical comedy, like top notch. Like I've
Yeah.
seen loads of people, YouTubers I watch, saying how much they love the character, and I was gutting myself at him constantly. My mum wasn't that sure about going to see the film, but when she came out, I asked her if she enjoyed it, and she said the cat was good. So the cat, if you ever do get to see it, you'll know, you'll understand what I mean more. But the cat was the standout in the film.
Okay. So the cat doesn't talk or anything, it's just like physical, is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. And does it, because it's like a robot cat, is it just robotic just
Oh wait,
because
sorry, I just told a complete lie. The cat can't talk.
it can talk?
Yeah, it's a robot, so it's not like
Okay.
breaking
That's fine.
canon or anything. This film, I'm realizing this film's really hard to explain out of context. Like it kind of feels like a film you have to have seen, but so yeah, I'm probably doing a horrendous job of explaining it.
No, that's all right. It's shedding more light on it, and hopefully when I see it, it'll make a load of difference.
Right. So there's these like there's some robots that are basically terrorizing the what's the word I'm looking for, the community on the planet,
Right.
and the only thing they can say is Zurg, which will obviously point you towards the villain of the piece.
Okay.
So the villain in Lightyear is Emperor Zurg that was in Toy Story 2.
Yeah, it's the exact same. The exact same from Toy Story.
Pretty much. It's quite good the way they introduce him, because you see him from like the shadows, you don't really see him, and then you see him from behind, and then you eventually do see him for real.
Mm-hmm.
So I was quite pleased with that. I liked the way they introduced Zurg, and I was quite pleased that that was the villain, because that made sense, because that's seen in the Empire Strikes Back knockoff in Toy Story 2.
Oh yeah. Okay.
But
So what's his motivations, Zurg?
So Zurg in Toy Story 2, do they not reveal that Zurg is his father?
I remember that. Yeah.
But they did something weird in this one, in that that's what you think's happening. But then there's a part where Zurg removes his mask, and he's actually an older Buzz. He's not Buzz's dad. He's literally Buzz when he's older.
Oh God, has this got something to do with time skipping and stuff?
Yeah. So on the whole, I really liked the portrayal of Buzz. I love Socks. I like the supporting characters, which we'll talk about more later. This is the bit I didn't like, was that they didn't make Zurg his dad. They made it him when he's older. So it's like he's went back in time to try and stop himself.
Right, yeah.
So yeah, that's the bit I wasn't that keen on.
So what, is he trying to disrupt the mission by sending his robots out or something?
So what I think is this is what I wish I'd just looked up a wee bit more beforehand. I think he realizes when he gets older that people did have a life on the planet and it was good to stay there. So I think he had that recollection when he was older and he wanted to go back and stop the younger version from taking them off world.
Right, okay.
That's the way I took it.
Right. No worries.
So before you realise that, there is a bit where there's a wee crew that are fighting against it. So Buzz has his own wee crew. So he has Socks. Older Buzz or Zurg has his own Socks as well, but it's got like one eye and it's starting to become more mechanical.
Right, okay, losing its fur.
So yeah, there is another Socks in it. There's a pair of Socks, you could say.
Did a pair of Socks fight?
No. But I'll just tell you a wee bit about Buzz's crew. So there's the is it the daughter? Is it the granddaughter? I think it's the granddaughter. So see his original partner, Ranger. Her granddaughter, she's in costume at first in like a Space Ranger gear. So some of the other characters wear like the Space Ranger gear in this film as well.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't know it's her at first, but then just through conversation you work out who it is. So and you see this character when she's like a wee girl in one of the scenes during the montage. So she's part of the crew. There's this guy who's like a crook, this wee small guy who's a crook, and he's just constantly worried about getting into trouble with like the space police. He was quite funny.
Okay.
And there's another character who's just pretty useless and always messes up. And he's voiced by Taika Waititi.
Oh, he's in it as well.
Yeah, so they're a wee crew, and they're trying to like stop Zurg and save the community. And at the end of the film, it looks like Buzz is essentially going to get court-martialed. There is actually a really funny scene near the start of the film where Buzz fails his mission and he throws his badge down. Do you know Buzz is quite dramatic when he's a space ranger? Yeah. And he just puts his arms up and he's basically like, arrest me. Like, he basically like court-martials himself.
Okay. So there's a court-martial at the end of this one as well.
So you think that's going to happen, but the new head of the facility, it seems like it's going that way, but then they basically say like you performed so well, because he eventually does succeed in his mission, but they decide to stay there anyway, and they basically say like you're going to be a space ranger again, and you're going to be in charge of like your own squad, and they offer him all of the best rangers available, but then he decides that he's got his team already, so the criminal guy, Socks, the rubbish guy, and the granddaughter, they become like his team.
Of course, it always happen that way.
So I didn't like the twist about Zurg being the older Buzz, but I really did enjoy the film. I thought it looked good. I thought the cat was great. I liked the comedy was good, and I liked there was that also that I mentioned, that really emotional scene where he sees his comrade dying, and that had a real emotional punch as well.
Yeah, nice. Right, I'm going to need you to ad-lib for like 30 seconds.
Okay.
I need you to carry the episode right now because my dog is chewing on his lead. If you can hear that noise, can you hear that noise?
Right. Okay. I'll do the plugs.
Yeah, do Do we plugging a wee promo of ourselves? I'll be back in.
We're going to have a wee break while Paul deals with his dog. So just to remind you that you can find us on social media on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and make sure you follow us if you haven't already for some great content. And also make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel and click the notification button so you can hear and watch all of our stuff. You can also find us on all the all the podcast platforms. So the likes of Spotify, Good Pods, Anchor, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music, Audible. And Paul is that.
And I'm back. Just in time for the plugs finishing. Good job.
Yeah.
I'm assuming.
Yep. Good job indeed. So yeah, I've probably made a real hatchet job of explaining that movie, but I must admit, Secrets of Dumbledore was difficult to explain to someone with not that much knowledge of that franchise. This film wasn't as difficult, but it was still quite challenging, I thought.
It's definitely different, I'd imagine, doing it. Because obviously you love Harry Potter. Oh, he's back. You love Harry Potter.
I do love Toy Story as well.
Yeah. Was there many callbacks to Toy Story, or was like Easter eggs in that, apart from Zurg?
Zurg, Buzz himself. They made a big deal of the To Infinity and Beyond bit.
Did they? Right.
So there was a quite a good bit. So the original. I don't want to look up because that's cheating. The original comrade of his, they would like touch their fingers like that and say To Infinity and Beyond. And when he's working with the granddaughter, he goes to do it. He holds his finger out and he just goes, "Oh, it was this thing that me and your grandmother used to do." It's quite funny.
That.
Yeah.
Uh,
So she didn't quite know what he was going for, but by the end of the film, they do the line. They say the thing.
Okay. Like it. So, is Woody going to get his own standalone film?
I do not work for Disney, so I can't confirm nor deny that.
Okay.
I'd watch it though.
Yeah. What would it be called? Just Woody?
It'd be called. Does Woody have a surname?
Woody. I don't know. I was about to say, what's Woody's second name?
I think this calls for a Toy Story rewatch.
No, my heart can't take it. I can't. Was it the third one? The trash compactor?
Yeah. Cool. So, is there anything else you'd like to know about the movie that you're probably will you watch when it comes to Disney Plus?
Probably, yeah. I'd probably watch it, yeah.
And you can I know for certain there was inaccuracies in my my retelling of the story, but I suppose that's what happens when stories are retold.
Yeah, Chinese whispers.
You got the gist of it.
No, you done well considering it's always hard trying to explain something to someone in detail, like trying to not miss anything when there's so much.
Yeah. I think I hit the main bits.
Yeah.
So, do you want a ranking? A rating? I will say
I've got some questions for you.
Oh, have you got some questions? Okay.
Right. Chris Evans or Tim Allen?
Tim Allen.
Tim Allen. Do you think like it was in like do you think they left Tim Allen out on purpose or do you think they asked him or what? I don't actually know.
I'm not sure. At first I just assumed he wasn't available or didn't want to do it. But as I explained with the premise to the film, I think having a different actor makes a bit of narrative sense.
Yeah, okay.
To separate Buzz the toy from Buzz the Space Ranger.
Yeah, that makes sense. Was there any standout jokes that you thought were worthwhile?
I like the bit where they did the failed To Infinity and Beyond bit, which I mentioned. Basically, just anything that the cat did was right. Good. You see the character I mentioned was just pretty useless. Mm-hmm. He had a pen that he had a pen and he just kept going on about it. And then near the end of the film, they needed to do something, and the pen fitted into the spot nicely. So he's like, "Oh, my pen!" That was great. That was quite good.
Yeah, convenient.
Yeah, quite convenient. Yeah. I can't remember like when I was watching it and straight after I would have remembered certain bits. I can't really remember any particular like lines or anything like that off the top of my head.
Yeah. Okay. I was going to say. So, do you want to hear a Buzz Lightyear joke?
Okay.
What would you call Buzz Lightyear if he was an alcoholic?
Buzz Light.
Not quite, but almost. Buzzed all year.
Okay. I get it. I thought you were
Yeah.
making something. I thought you were making some kind of like a Bud beer joke.
No, I'm not clever enough for that, Colin.
In
And I read somewhere, was there some sort of controversy for this movie?
what sense?
They got like banned from certain countries or something?
I think there was meant to be a same-sex kiss, and then it got removed.
Oh, did it across the board?
No, it might just been in certain countries because the Buzz's colleague marries a woman and they have a child, so they did leave that in. And
Oh, right, okay. Oh, that's what, the one you're saying had partner. Right, okay, got
yeah,
it.
so I'm assuming that's what the controversy was, maybe in different countries.
I see. Okay, yeah, that probably makes sense actually, but it's a shame that it makes sense.
Yeah,
And the animation style, did you think? And you said you really enjoyed the animation, didn't you?
yeah, I thought it looked good. As it maybe could have done with looking a bit more old school in terms of if it was a movie released in the mid-90s, but I think we can give them a pass for that because I think people would have moaned if they hadn't done a good job with the animation as well.
Yeah, you want it to look as good as it can. Like just because it's doesn't fit with the overall story, doesn't mean you should kind of sacrifice the quality of the animation. So
It was
yeah,
good seeing it was good seeing a Pixar movie back in the cinema though, because the last four I think have been released direct to Disney Plus.
Oh, have they? Okay.
I feel like Pixar movies should be in the cinema.
Well, depending how good they are. And you thought Chris Evans did a real good job, didn't you? Their voices. Was there any other like kind of big characters apart from Chris Evans and Taika Waititi? The voices that you liked?
I'm going to cheat on this occasion because it's always good to find out new information. I'll see. I'll just see quickly if there is anyone else.
Whilst Colin's looking it up, I think we should, for anyone who's just listening, always have silly names on the podcast. Mine is Tim Allen because Tim Allen, the legend.
You look a bit like
Okay, who?
you look a bit like Tim Allen
In what reality do I look like Tim Allen?
when he had the beard and the Santa Claus.
You're getting awful bold and cheeky in these podcasts, mate.
Yes.
Next time I see you, you're getting and Colin has gone for a visual gag. He is wearing a Spain top, and his name is Spanish Buzz.
Like the Buzz in Toy Story 3.
Hit me with your best Spanish.
Para cuatro, por favor. Table for four, please. I butchered it. Right, James Brolin is Zurg. Is that not Thanos? No.
No, that's
Is that another
Josh
Brolin? Right. Just trying to see if there's anyone else that looks familiar. Bill Hader plays one of the newbie.
Oh, right, okay. He's quite funny. Yeah, Bill Hader.
I didn't realize he was in that actually. He also helped produce the noise that BB-8 makes in Force Awakens.
He's in that chapter 2, is it? Chapter 2, isn't he? The comedian.
2? I can't remember it.
One of the grown-ups, and he's like the comedian. And he's got the glasses.
I don't know if I've seen it, chapter 2.
What?
I saw it.
Oh, you liked the miniseries, didn't you? That's right.
Yeah, but I've seen the first one. I've seen it,
Yeah.
chapter 1. I didn't really enjoy it that much compared to the miniseries, which I just assumed was a movie.
Is Bill Hader not in Paul, the movie?
Yeah, he's one of the cops.
Right.
Any more questions?
No, I think that was it.
Do you want a rating?
You done? What?
Do you want a rating?
Yes, I want a rating out of 10. Yeah, go for 10. The usual.
10 seismic stars, or whatever we called it. Right.
No, whatever you call it. That's what you call it. That's what you call it. I've not signed off on this Seismic Stars.
I would give this a 7.5.
7.5. Okay, that's pretty decent. A bit higher than I thought it was going to be because I'd seen some of the kind of critical responses on like Wikipedia and IMDb and stuff, Rotten Tomatoes, and a lot of people weren't too impressed with it. But yeah, that's quite good.
I've seen a lot of people that are impressed with it though. The main bits I knocked off for was the Zerg reveal, and I thought the plot as a whole was just a wee bit not that interesting. They're just trying to go off the planet. It wasn't that creative, but I like the characters. I like the portrayal of Buzz. I love Socks. I like the humor and I like the emotional aspects of it. So I
Are
think
you going to
seven.
get Are you going to get a socks toy?
Yes, it'll be see, as soon as we're leaving the cinema, my mum was like Googling. She wanted one, whether it was to give to me or for her. I don't know. So,
Nice. Well, I think that's a good way to end on your rating. And we've got done a wee half hour. Have you got something to add? You look like you're.
I do have a few quick fire questions for you. We've not done this in a while,
Oh God, aye. Oh no. Right.
which means you're up next. They're quite random, some of them. Right. Number one, what is your all-time favorite toy you've ever owned or just know of its existence? Is there one like standout?
Well, can it be like a collection of toys?
Yeah.
Right. When I was younger, I used to have like thousands of micro machines. Do you remember
Yeah, I
the
remember.
just like miniature cars and miniature soldiers? But I used to have like all the military ones. So I
Yeah.
used to have like hundreds of tanks, hundreds of helicopters, hundreds of planes, hundreds of wee soldiers and that. And I used to have like just shoe boxes full of them, and I thought they were the best thing ever. I used to have like the wee bases. And you had one as well, actually, that you could fold
Remember the
out.
one I had? It had like a light and it had the missiles around it.
Night Attack. Yes, I do.
Yeah,
We used to play that all the time at your house. Shine your
that's it.
torch and shoot things if we could see it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's a standout memory of mine. Also, I think you'll remember it as well. There was I had the one. It was like an RV, and you opened it up, and it was like a town.
yeah. I see you had that one, right? I
Uh,
had the military version. So like
uh,
yours had like petrol stations and stuff, and mine had like
uh,
uh, bases and stuff. So it was quite funny. I had the exact same thing as you, basically.
One of my all-time favorite things, and I really hope I don't have it in my house. Hopefully, my parents have it. Was crossbows and catapults.
Oh God, aye, that was great. And if you had the catapults, you're basically useless.
Uh, Remember the
It was more fun. It was more fun trying to get the catapults.
you essentially built a castle, didn't you? There was like a
Yes.
there was like a grey castle and like a cream castle, and you had all the wee army guys on the ramparts.
All the knights, yeah.
I'm actually going to message my mum right now just to remind me to ask if that's in the house because I really want that.
She doesn't have it. We should
Do
buy
you,
it.
want- do you want to find it online and just have a crossbows and catapults night in my living room?
Yeah, we should just live stream it and take bets.
I'm
Yes.
messaging her now.
Yeah, because you used to have like wee elastic bands, didn't it, for like crossbows and
Yeah.
stuff. And then you'd be raging when one snapped, and you'd be like, "Mom."
I don't know why I don't have. Surely if I saw that at my parents' house, I'd have brought it to my flat.
Hmm.
But question two, uh, because talking about toys made me think of that game. What's your favorite board game of all time?
Board game. Uh, oh, good question. Good question. God, I've got so many board games in the house to play. One that I really like playing just now is the Jaws board game.
Okay,
And I don't. Have you been to my house when I was trying to explain how to play it?
I've never played it. I don't think.
It's so like difficult to get your head around at first. Like me and Scarlett had to play it like 8 or 9 times just to try and get it working properly. Because there's like two phases and there's like a big map of the island and the water around it. and it's really complicated. Like basically, you need to be the shark. You need to eat swimmers from different beaches. There's like 4 beaches, and if you're the humans, you need to move the human characters about to try and save the swimmers. But you never see the shark until he appears, and you need to guess where he is and try and shoot barrels into different sections and stuff. It's like battleships, but it's a mix of things. And then there's a second phase where the shark's attacking the boat and he's taking chunks out of the boat. But you need to maneuver your people on the boat to try and cover the sections and stuff. It's quite intense. It's quite intense when you get into it. How about you?
You do like your complicated games.
Oh, see the first few times we're playing it, I had the instructions book in front of me and I was just like, I have no idea what's going on. And Scarlett usually plays the shark and she's amazing at it. Like she's like really good at it and figuring out where to go, where I'm just running about daft and just have no idea.
I'm going to keep with the party line and I'm just going to say crossbows and catapults. If that counts.
Is that I suppose that is a board game. Yeah. All right, okay, I'll give you it.
Right, number 3. What animated film do you think should get a live action remake? Regardless of whether you're a fan of live action remakes or not, is there any animated films you'd love to see in live action?
Let me see. Interesting. I would probably say the Pokemon movie.
They kind of did that. Well, sort of that Detective Pikachu thing.
I know they had that, but I mean like the actual movie itself, but have it in real life. But if they were to do that, they would really need to get the casting right. Otherwise, it just wouldn't be the same.
The CGI, right?
Yeah, but saying that CGI is pretty good these days. Like, I'm sure I'd be okay.
Yeah. That's a good time to plug the fact that, well, first of all, this review is going to come out on Thursday, the 7th of July. On Monday night, we are going to get away from Star Wars, as we have done, but we're going to do our ranking of our top 10 favourite animated movies. And that's a nice wee tie-in there.
Yep, and I'm still doing my ranking. I'm still writing it down and trying to do it, and we're filming it in like straight after this.
Some things never change. Right, 2 more quick questions.
Too much.
Second last, I went for 5. Streaming movies or going to the cinema? What would you prefer?
I prefer watching them in the cinema, but for sheer convenience, probably streaming. Like, it's hard to get to the cinema all the time these days, and it's not getting any cheaper. So it is a lot easier to watch it on the streaming, but there's a lot of movies out there that don't really work. Or no, don't really work, but to get the full effect, you really need to see them in the cinema. Like, I'd imagine, like, say, Top Gun would be amazing in the cinema, but it wouldn't be that great.
We missed the boat on that one. It was a shame. We had me in particular, had a particularly busy spell when all the films were coming out. Like, I've not even seen Jurassic World or Top Gun, which is a shame. But
me neither. Doing a terrible job at this movie review.
I'm sure I'll catch them. But we do need to sometimes make sure we get to the cinema to do the reviews. So I'm obviously going to see Thor, Love and Thunder tomorrow. Last question. This one's really random. So, because of Toy Story, I once had an idea for a film or a story in which everyday household items come alive and have adventures. So not like toys, but like kitchen appliances, etc. Actually, my original idea was like in a school where all the stationery came alive. Anyway, what household what household appliance would you love to see come to life and why?
What kind of question is that?
We're talking about the Toy Story franchise where inanimate objects come alive. I'm asking you, what household object would you love to see come alive?
um,
It's only weird if you make it weird.
uh,
Do you think a kettle would be quite violent? Or could be quite violent?
oh, if it's filled with water.
Yeah.
Uh,
Do
God.
you want to think about that one and reveal it at the end of the animated ranking?
That can be the hook for people that want to return to this. Like, oh, I really want to watch that animated ranking to see what Paul would want his household item to be that comes alive.
That was a good question, wasn't it?
Okay, I could just say food.
No, save it, save it.
Oh right, okay, not food.
Not food. Right. Okay, so that's the end of this review slash Q&A session. Hopefully Paul's a bit more clued up now on Lightyear.
I am, yes, thank you. You've done really good that time. I quite enjoy these wee Q&As. They're a bit different, aren't
You're just doing that so you don't have to go and see films.
they? Saving the money, saving
It is a wee bit.
economy's breaking me.
Yeah, it is a wee bit of a change, and it changes up the dynamic a wee bit. Paul, since I've done the heavy lifting, are you going to reveal or remind our listeners and viewers of our slogan?
Yep. It is the power of hyperdrive.
One day, Paul will get these right.
Or the power of escapism. The power of
It's
escapism, sorry.
the power of escapism.
Escaping from the planet and losing all the lives of your
Yes.
I mean all the years of your life.
And I'll let Buzz have the last word.
Lightyear to the rescue!
Nice.